For Off the Block, I'm Vinny Lopes, and we're now joined by Quincy men's volleyball head coach Hadley Foster. And Coach, you kind of look at your team right now, and I think the big question everyone's asking is, how good is this Quincy team after you guys go on the West Coast last week and almost pull off some big upsets against some nationally ranked teams? So we'll ask you, just how good can your team be this year?
I wish I could answer that. We have moments of very good play and then moments of not so good. So if we can get more consistent, I think we might be able to do some good things.
Yeah. And Coach, just to ask you, you look at this season going into it, what were some of the things that you were most excited about your team going into it?
I think for the first time in a very long time, I have 6 guys that are really good servers. One of our Achilles heels has always been, just missing a ton of first serves and, not really being able to do anything about that. And I feel like I have 6 guys that can put pressure on with their serve, and they all serve just a little bit different. So it's kind of exciting. It's usually been something we try to work on to cover up that huge weakness, and now it's something where it's kind of a strength.
Yeah, well, and talking about the serving a little bit, was that something that you have worked on this offseason, or was it just, with so many veterans coming back, that's just something that they've developed in their years in your program?
A little bit of both. I mean, we work on it, but the older guys have finally just really put some effort into it and made it so that it was something that they were having fun with.
Yeah, and I'd love to get your thoughts about serving because you hear every single coach, they talk about, the biggest thing is passing and serving. For you as a coach, what have you seen is your biggest challenge in taking a player as a freshman and really getting them to become an effective college server?
The biggest thing for us is, gaining confidence. With servers, so much of it is mental, and when they start to question themselves, it takes a lot of quality reps for them to get their confidence back. I mean, they come out of high school and they were excellent servers, and or at least they thought they were at that level. And that serve turns into basically a free ball, and the other team just comes and bounces it down your throat. So they have to, take more risks and be more aggressive with it, and they make mistakes, and then confidence goes away. And once you've lost confidence, it's really difficult.
Yeah, and Coach, you look at your last weekend, just to go back a little bit, you push number 9 UC Santa Barbara to 5 games, you push number 4 Long Beach State to 4 games, and then you go 5 against Cal Baptist. What was the biggest thing that you and your players took away from that weekend down in California?
Well, we have some potential to do things. Obviously we're disappointed we didn't get one of those 5-game matches, at least, or both. And it was exciting because we were in the matches, we had our chances, and they were quality teams, and they're not going to give it to you. So we learned that, we have to do a better job of finishing, at least one more of the games. So we managed to get a couple, but we couldn't quite maintain the execution necessary to close them out.
And Coach, looking at your team this year, you have so many veterans returning at your pin hitter positions. What have you seen from them, not only in this first weekend, but in the offseason that makes you excited about kind of that core group of players coming back?
Well, I'm excited about their experience. I mean, there's not going to be a ton of situations they haven't seen. But I think the biggest difference is our depth. We've got some pretty solid guys on the bench right now that pushes some practice. I mean, the starting lineup used to be a situation where either the 6 guys were every single time. And now it's a lot harder. Guys are battling for playing time. So I think our depth has made the biggest difference because we're practicing against the better team.
And Coach, looking at your schedule moving forward, one of the interesting things I saw about it is that there's some days where you have multiple games or matches on the same day, and I'm presuming that'd be a split squad situation. What type of value you feel that may give some of the younger players gaining some game experience?
That's exactly why I did it. We have a large roster, and we have some guys that they need to get playing time, because when I graduate these upperclassmen, I don't want to just fall off a cliff. Yeah. I really want these guys getting some match experience so that we can continue to get better, not build for 1 year and then have to start over from scratch. So, and the young kids I'm really excited about them. So they're going to get some playing time, and they're going to get some good teams.
Yeah, and Coach, looking beyond non-conference, looking at the conference season, last year you guys were, really pushing teams. I mean, it had a little bit of a deceiving conference record because it felt like you were in so many games, pulled off a few upsets. You look at your team this year. How far or how well do you think that you guys can do in the MIVA this season?
I have no idea. The MIVA's changes so much from year to year with. And this year we've got new head coaches, we've got a whole new rosters. That's more of a question I'll try to answer in a couple of weeks, because everything everybody thinks is just a guess.
Yeah. All right, Coach. And final question for you before we let you go. You kind of look at your team coming back from California, getting ready for their upcoming matches. What's been the big thing at practice this week and maybe next week that you have really emphasized with your players and your team?
Well, we're preparing for Carthage, so it's a little different mindset going in, because we play them every year, and they're a team that is scrappy and well coached and really brings a lot of emotion and energy to the game. And it's a different environment than the MPSF teams, where they just kind of pound it down your throat. Whereas Carthage is going to just keep hacking away at you. So we had to do a lot more things this week in practice to deal with frustration, because there's going to be a lot of balls that don't go down. Carthage is just good enough to just keep it alive and put pressure on you. So we worked on not beating ourselves a lot this week.